What's up, guys? I'm gonna close the door.
Special edition of CouchCast.
What's up, guys? Yeah,
The Walking Dead cast.
Walking Dead cast.
Not
I
like
like
the,
that name,
not like
but
the
it might be
people.
trademarked, so we shouldn't use it. I don't know.
We're going to talk about The Walking Dead, which came out last night.
Last night.
Season 4 has officially begun.
Super crazy.
It's Walktober again. One of the
Walktober.
best times of October, in my opinion.
Yeah, everybody's all about the pumpkin spice and crap. We're not
Boo!
about that.
We're not white girls.
No, we're not.
So the episode opens up, and the prison's completely different now.
Totally different.
By the way, if you have not seen the episode and you care about spoilers, stop watching right now.
Just stop. Go watch it.
Quick.
Just stop. Like, seriously.
Stop right now. Anyway, the episode is completely different. Rick seems like a new man. Rick is farming.
Farming. He's a
Is-
farmer. What's
yeah.
up with that?
There's livestock at the prison. There's crops. They've got their own little community in there. And it shows Rick, and he's moving around. And he's got these headphones in, which I'm not sure how they would even charge electronics.
I'm guessing that
unless
he's
they've
like
got-
a generator of sorts. They have those giant industrial generators in the thing, so they
Yeah.
can just go out and get gas.
Right?
Then they can power the prison.
As long as they don't get it from the CDC.
Yeah.
It's a season 1 callback.
Oh.
But no. Shows Rick, and Rick's digging around and stuff, and he pulls out one of the headphones. You can actually hear the infected, the walkers,
Yeah.
which is it's kind of cool. Like it kind of shows the psychological aspect of it, of like having headphones in and canceling out the moans of the dead.
Like that's gotta kind of mess you up after a while, hearing
Right.
just like the moaning dead all the time.
Anyway, Rick digs up a gun and looks at it.
Did he bury that in a previous season?
I don't know.
How did it even get there?
Lucas Bell mentioned something about that.
I don't remember him burying a gun or anybody burying a gun out there.
I don't know.
But maybe it'll be something to be explained later on.
I think it's some kind of something to do with Rick, because Rick is a changed man. We know because at the end of season 3, he began giving people chances.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even let Tyrese and his group in, and then he let all the Woodbury community in.
Yeah.
And later on the episode, Herschel tells Rick that he needs to start wearing his gun because Rick has stopped wearing his gun.
Which I have a theory behind that, because didn't Andrea use Rick's gun to off herself?
That's what I thought too, but then he used it later on. Well, he had to because Herschel made him. But yeah.
So
Andrea used Rick's gun to off herself because she was infected by Milton.
So I think there might be some kind of emotional connection with that.
Right.
We still haven't seen him fire it yet, though. So
Right. Anyway, so Beth, who is Herschel's youngest daughter, apparently has a boyfriend now, and it's not Carl.
thank goodness. That'd be awkward for many reasons.
Right. But still, season 3, it hinted at them kind of being an issue
Possibly, yeah.
because they killed off Sophia.
Yeah.
Fia! But no, so her boyfriend is going out with a bunch of the group on scouting runs.
This guy, he looks like a total tool. The moment he's introduced, everybody was like, "This guy's a tool."
Yeah.
He just screams tool.
Not literally, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But no, so he's going out there, and it's kind of interesting how the original, the core group of people is incorporating new survivors in their daily routines, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Michonne is apparently not around very much anymore. I think because she's off, hunting for the governor.
I think that's what I picked up, is that she's going around trying to look for traces of him and stuff.
Right.
So.
And later on, it shows her looking at a map, and it looks like she's going to go into Macon.
Yeah. So that'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Might tie into the game.
Yeah. The Walking Dead game won Game of the Year last year. Awesome game. Play it.
You don't even have to play it. I mean, I recommend you do play it, but if you don't want to play it, just look it up on YouTube.
Right.
Great game.
Right. Very fun. It's not much action. It's more choice-driven and emotion-based. And character-driven, which is really nice. I like that a lot.
So many emotions. So many.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, he's a softer man. Carl is a little bit different this year. He's not as much into things. He's having to interact with other children, which is an interesting dynamic. There's this new kid that everyone immediately started calling Harry Potter.
He looks like Harry Potter. I've seen him in other stuff on television before. I just don't remember where I've seen him.
Right.
But he's Harry Potter, essentially.
So if you guys have seen the episode, you know exactly who we're talking about.
Yeah.
We're talking about Harry Potter.
I think his name was Patrick?
I don't know.
I don't know.
If they're not core group, I consider them throwaway characters.
Ah, okay.
Walker bait.
Yeah, essentially. Zombie fodder.
Yep. Fooder. But no. So they go out on a run, and they've got this new guy who is apparently a field medic in the army.
Yeah. I like how they introduced that dynamic.
I don't know. I didn't really catch a whole lot of like what they were saying because people who we were watching with were talking a lot. Mm-hmm. So I didn't get to hear a lot of what was said because you were closer to the speakers. Mm-hmm. I was closer to the sub.
Yeah. And
there wasn't anything coming from the sub.
Yeah.
So at times it was very hard to hear because I was in between Chris Aarons and Mick Burns.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, pretty much he'd only been with them for like a week or so.
2 weeks.
And 2 weeks.
It was 2 weeks.
Okay, and he's like, well, I want to like start helping out and like earn my keep. Like I've eaten food, you guys have given me shelter, like space, like yeah, I need to pay it back. And so he's like, well, and they were very hesitant about letting him go out on the run. It's like, but I'm a medic. Or Glenn made the point that he was a medic. And so they're like, yeah, we can use a medic on the run. That'd be a good idea. And so they
pausing real quick. Speaking of like medics and veterinarians and stuff, Herschel has a new leg.
Herschel has a new leg. I mean, not a real fleshy leg, but like a fake one.
Yeah. Which is really cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, so maybe that'll be... He walks like awkward on it too, so hopefully that'll give them a little bit more leeway with the actor because the actor still has his leg.
Yeah. And speaking of Herschel and the medic guy, somebody made the point that maybe since they introduced the medic that they won't need Herschel anymore. So... I don't know.
I like Herschel a lot.
But yeah, we don't really know a whole lot about the medic yet. And I think since there's weird things happening, like there's just they have livestock, and so Herschel's gonna need to be around for livestock reasons.
Right. You're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, I know.
So they go on this run, and they go to this grocery store. But before, they've introduced this dynamic of hundreds and hundreds of walkers pressing up against the fences and people going out there and just jabbing them in the head and creating lots of bodies piling up. At the fence that surrounded the grocery center, the fence had given way and there was blood on all the chain links and on the ground. So I think the walkers pushed their way through the fence. I think we're going to see that at the prison, but on a much larger scale. I think the walkers are going to get through the fence.
See, I didn't quite catch that. Because they had hooked up the thing to the car battery, like there was music playing, and they said they hooked up to a car battery and they drew all the walkers out of the fenced area. But
did they?
They were saying something like that. We might have to go back and watch it, or just I don't know.
Oh, there was blood, maybe because
blood on the fence, but
they clipped it and they walked out.
Yeah.
Which might make more sense. I think some of the blood spattering was leading outside too, so that would make sense. I still think the walkers are going to take down the fence.
Yeah, they'd have to. Like it's a good thing that they presented at the beginning of the episode was the fact that like there's so many walkers and like they're getting more and more each day and like they almost can't keep up with like having to kill them.
Right.
So that'll be really fun. Imagine how inventive they can get. Like if there's so many walkers that like they just get like cheese grated through the fence.
Oh man,
that could be good.
Yeah. So they go on this scouting run into the grocery store, and it's revealed that there's a crashed chopper on the roof with a whole bunch of zombies.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not sure how that was brought up. A lot of people speculate that that is the same chopper that the field medic guy was a part of.
Yeah.
And it might make sense because he seems very hesitant to be there, and he goes to the booze aisle and almost grabs a bottle of wine. Which they can do some interesting things with that character arc.
Yeah.
We don't really know a lot of his past. I think that'll be introduced later on. It looks like they're setting him up to be a fairly important character.
Yeah. I think he'll play an important part of the stuff they've done with him.
And then they topple a shelf on top of him and trap him, making lots of noise, and then the walkers start falling through the ceiling.
Okay. Like, there's more leading up to it. Like, they're attracted to noise, and then they're all on the roof, and, like, the chopper's pretty much right above where he was. And so when it crashes, it makes all the noise like, noise, let's go. And
so all these walkers start moving.
They're falling through the roof. Super crazy. The first one was amazing.
Landed on something, and then he was just hanging by his entrails.
Like, it was awesome. Ugh. And, like, then more and more just started falling through, and, like, someone would fall, and, like, they would just almost pretty much explode, like, when they hit the ground. And just so much was happening. They were falling, and, like, legs were snapping, and it was just, it was awesome. And everybody there was yelling, and it was pretty great.
It's like, usually whenever walkers are coming, they can pick them off, like, you can see them coming. But, like, whenever they're landing right next to you and then springing up, even Daryl, hardcore as he is getting trapped and surrounded.
Yeah, that was super crazy. Like, I knew they wouldn't kill him, but still, like...
Field medic guy, he's got his leg trapped under the thing. There are zombies coming through walkers.
Yeah, walkers.
There are walkers crawling, trying to get their way to him.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, because the one that was coming after him had, like, his head split open. I thought he was going to rip the thing's face open and, like, just scramble his brains by hand.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
And I was like, oh, man, that's insane.
Yeah.
But then Daryl came by and smashed his head in, which is still cool.
Yeah. But before all that happened, like, zombies coming at him, like, and, like, he's holding his, like, hand up to, like, stop, like, on the zombie's head to, like, stop him, and its skin starts peeling off.
Oh, like whenever the one lands.
Oh, yeah,
and
there's one that, like, lands, and when it sits up, like, its skin is, like, still stuck to the floor, and its skull just comes up. Ugh.
So cool. They have stepped up their game this season.
Oh, yeah, but it's also the first episode. They got to get people hooked, like,
right.
to keep going.
Right.
So.
So then, as they're doing it, Beth's boyfriend comes by. Walker bites his leg. Not just bites his leg, and he gets away. Draws him down and just rips out his throat.
It was awesome. Everybody in the room
Overkill.
cheered. We were so glad he died.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, that guy was just, he had Tool written all over him, and, like...
Not literally, but
yeah.
You know what I mean.
And so...
And on top of all this, the chopper is starting to fall through the roof, and you can see that going all the time. And I was like, they showed it start shifting, and I was like, oh man, it's coming down. And then none of the characters were, like, running or, like, trying to get out there. They're just like...
Yeah, because they had no idea that it's up there.
And it's still coming. I'm like, you guys need to start getting out of there now.
Yeah, they don't know about it. And then, I
don't know, the chopper took like 30 seconds to fall, and it was a long 30 seconds.
Yeah, they finally made it out. Like, they all made it safe, except that one guy. But nobody really cared about him.
Right. Then we can transition over to Rick's storyline.
Oh,
Rick is checking the traps.
Yeah, they set traps to find small game to eat for food.
Yes.
So what does the fox say? Nothing. Because they killed it and had it for dinner.
Daryl shot it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they've got traps set up. And Rick is going out, he's checking them. As was hinted before with the buried gun that Rick throws away, Rick maybe doesn't like weapons this season because he doesn't carry his python on him anymore. So Herschel made him take that out there as they were doing it.
Is that what they call his gun?
Well, that's what it is. It's a python.
I just knew it was just a really big cowboy type gun.
A revolver?
Yeah, it's called a python. Okay. This guy.
Yeah. It's a gun featured in Black Ops 2 Zombies.
Really?
That you can get. Yes.
Oh, I think I've used that gun, actually.
It's actually probably the best gun you can get.
Yeah.
Well, Pack-a-Punch.
Yeah.
But, no, so Rick goes out there. It's been hinted that there is a sick pig in the thing, and then he comes across a moaning and dying pig outside. And then this dark figure, which I assumed was going to be a walker, sets upon it. And so Rick doesn't want to fight him for it. So Rick starts walking away, and then it's revealed that it is a woman. A living woman. She's a survivor.
Like, he walks away, Twig snaps, and she's like, stop, help me.
Right, so she invites Rick to come back because she and her husband have been doing very poorly on their own. So Rick's like, all right, I'm going to ask you 3 questions when we get there, and then we'll find out if you can come and live with us. So they start going back. And at this point, all the speculation starts happening because surely this woman can't be what she says.
Like, she's got to be a cannibal, or...
Her husband's a walker.
Like, what is going on with this woman? She's so, like, mysterious, and, like, she even looks like a walker.
She does look like a walker.
So much like a walker. Like, at first I thought maybe Rick was having another hallucination.
I did too. He's still, like, feeling very guilty about, like, walkers are, like, maybe they're thinking that, like, since they're all this stuff and, like, the kids are like, oh, they're still alive, they're just different. like maybe Rick is thinking that like he's personifying the walkers.
Mm-hmm.
But no, she's actually alive. They get back to camp, and of course she tries to kill him because her husband is just ahead.
Yeah.
And so...
A walker head.
Right. She knows that Rick has to kill her now because she tried to kill him. And so she wants to be with her husband, so she stabs herself. And it's very sad.
It was pretty emotional. Like,
so then...
It was...
Yeah. Did you catch what she said? Rick asked her the questions, how many walkers have you killed? How many people have you killed? And as soon as he asked her how many people have you killed, she's like, just me.
Yeah.
Just me. I was like, dang!
That was...
Right in the feels.
Yeah.
Anyway, she dies. Rick leaves her so that she can become a zombie.
Yeah, that was another thing too. Like, instead of like... somebody had thought that maybe like... The whole thing was like, it was going to be a baby that she had, like a zombie baby, and I was like, no, it's got to be just a walker head.
Yeah.
The baby thing would just be too weird. I think maybe a bit taboo.
Maybe.
But yeah, it surprised me that like it didn't surprise me, but at the same time, like he didn't like kill them or make sure that they wouldn't come back. So.
Which brings us back to the third story arc, which is Carl's story arc. Carl is interacting with all the kids and all this stuff. He is invited to a reading session, and he never goes because it's too childish. Carol has been using this to her advantage and teaching the kids how to use weaponry on the side, and she doesn't want Rick to find out about it because Rick is apparently anti-weapons now.
Yeah. Well, and plus they're only kids, but I mean, it's still good to, like, you know, be able to defend yourself if something happens.
Anyway, his friend, Harry Potter, is feeling sick, which I thought like he would be like he'd have an aversion to weapons because like he's like I don't want to do this, I feel sick.
Yeah, that's what I thought was gonna happen.
Turns out he actually is sick.
Well, but we'll get to that later. Let's finish the whole Carl thing.
Oh, I don't have any more to say to that.
Oh well, Carol is teaching. Carl comes in and sees that she's doing it. She's like, oh, hey Carl, don't tell your dad, and then he runs off. Yeah, I guess that's it, really.
Yep.
So, an extra, 20 seconds. Anyway, on to Harry Potter.
He actually is sick, gets up in the middle of the night, and he's, feverish and sweating and all this stuff.
Super sweating. It shows him walking, and, his footprint. He's leaving footprints on the floor, he's sweating that much. It's disgusting.
And he gets the showers, and he turns it on to, cool himself down or whatever. Collapses, shows him a couple hours later, and he's bleeding from his face, and he's a walker.
What the heck? What's happening? Is the virus or whatever's causing it, is it, mutating?
I don't think so. Meg Burns thinks that. I don't.
And, there's the whole thing with the farm animals.
Right.
One of the pigs was sick. The pig in the forest that Rick found was sick. And so, is it linked to that? Is there some kind of, bad food thing going around?
That's probably what I would say is happening.
Do they accidentally eat infected flesh? Is it changing animals now? Or,
I don't think it can. There's been nothing hinted at that in the comics, and this is a really good way for him to get off of the comics. If he's going to get off the comics, it should be who is infected. Who is immune to the new airborne strain.
Yeah. So, this is going to be crazy because, everybody's sleeping, and he's a walker now, so, if he gets up, he might, kill people in the middle of the night. And,
right. But they are in cells, so...
But do they close their cells at night?
I would assume some of them do.
I mean, hard to say.
30 days without an accident.
Yeah. Which, going back to that, after everything ends with, what's-her-face's girlfriend, Daryl gets back and...
Tells Beth.
Yeah, he tells Beth, he's like, hey, that guy, he died. And she was like... Oh. She's like, well, whatever. At least I got to know him. And, it just shows, how...
Cold.
Desensitized they're becoming. Or, some of the people, I guess. So, Daryl and Carol, are they officially a thing now?
They were back in Season 3.
Were they, though?
Yeah, season premiere. You remember how they talked to each other?
I mean, a little bit, but, I don't know, I didn't think it was necessarily a full-on thing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But yeah, at the beginning of the season, she's like, oh, hey, I liked you first, or you liked me first, or something. I don't know. Just weird relationship stuff. I don't understand. I'm single.
Ain't no shame in that.
What else? There was something else. Oh, At the beginning of the episode, like, it shows Glenn and Maggie or whatever, and, like, they're getting ready to go on the run. And, like, it only shows Maggie from, like, chest, neck, up or whatever. And Glenn's like, yeah, I don't think you should go out today or whatever. And I'm like, she's totally pregnant. Or, like, something. And then they get back, and it finally shows her, and she's not pregnant.
After Glenn's been looking at baby stuff.
Yeah, he was looking at baby stuff, so everybody's like, oh, what? He's totally got to be. She's totally got to be.
Which was good writing on the part of the writers.
Yeah, because I don't think it was ready for her to be pregnant yet. That would just be a mess.
Yeah.
But no, at the end, she's like, oh, I'm not pregnant. And she's like, which is good, because I didn't want to get pregnant. Or she did want to get pregnant, but Glenn was worried she was going to be.
Right.
I don't know.
So Glenn wants to have a baby. She doesn't really want to.
Yeah.
Which, if they go along the comic storylines, Maggie can't get pregnant.
Yeah.
Spoilers. But no, I really can't think of anything else. What would we like to see happen? I want to see the fence thing happen. I want to see their little way of life that they've got getting up there. I want to see that interrupted. I want to see how they're going to react when all the stuff hits the fan.
Yeah. There's all of that. There's all those people in the prison now that came from Woodbury. They're just zombie fodder. Like,
yep.
Got to get rid of a lot of them via zombies. So that'll happen. Hopefully, well, not hopefully. I mean, I don't want people to die, but at the same time, it has to happen.
Think they'll leave the prison this season?
Maybe.
I think they will.
The governor.
Oh man! Like, what if the governor comes back in the mid-season finale? Wipes everyone out or something, or like that's the finale of the entire season. It's just like the governor's been gone all season,
and then he just
suddenly
comes back
he's back
like,
with an army.
Bam, that'd be crazy. I would like that.
That would be good.
Another thing I'd like to see, like, obviously show and comics are different. Governor in the show is like super suave, like hair's kind of like short-ish. It's like medium short, I guess, long short. I don't know. But he's like super suave and just like very like, just very
like Danny Trejo. That's what he looks like in the comics.
Well, in the comics, but I'm talking about in the show.
In the show?
In the show, he's very gentlemanly and just like clean looking, but in the comics, he's just very grungy and oily. And so I'm hoping that like when we see him again, like his hair is gonna be long and like he's just gonna be grungy and nasty and just oily like he is in the comics. So I'd like to see that transformation.
Comments taken out of context. Alec Busma wants to see this man greasy and oily.
Wow! Wow.
You said it.
Gosh. Wow. Okay. Other stuff I want to see is like going back to the fence thing. I totally want to see like the zombie cheese grater thing happen. That would be really gross and inventive.
A Resident Evil thing.
Did it already happen in Resident Evil?
Well, not like that. There were lasers.
Oh. Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Other stuff that could happen. I mean, I think somebody from the main group might die this season. They usually have like one that dies almost every season.
I think it's going to be Carol.
You think Carol's going to die?
I think Carol has just about run her course.
Yeah, that could be. I think that could be a thing. So, do you think that Rick is going to hook up with anyone?
They almost make it seem like he and Michonne could potentially be a thing, but
yeah, I'm not too sure about that. That would be really weird.
Mm-hmm. Considering how he in the comics, Andrea,
maybe
hook up.
Yeah. So, well, she's gone now.
Yep.
Which I like comic Andrea way better than show Andrea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh. Yeah, because I don't think they'll kill Glenn. If Glenn is going to die, he's going to die. Me personally, I feel like there's a certain way Glenn has to die. And I don't think the show is capable of doing it at this point.
No.
Man, like, I'm waiting for the total slaughter fest in the prison. That's about it.
Which could potentially happen next episode.
Potentially.
Unless the next episode is just, like, from Michonne's point of view.
That'll be fun. Like, Michonne going out and like tracking down the governor, like her adventures and stuff.
What if she meets up with what's his face? The guy from Rick's hometown.
Oh, Morgan.
Dwayne's dad.
Yeah. So I don't know. We might see of him again. Yeah.
I guess that's about all we got.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys have anything to say,
yeah.
I mean, comment.
What'd you guys think of the episode? What do you want to see happen? Were you upset with the episode?
Or the things you want to discuss, like theories and stuff. And, you know, if you comment, we might comment back. So...
we probably will, because there are like 3 people who watch this video now.
Yeah. So, and you guys can change that and share it with all your friends and be like, hey, watch these 2 awesome dudes.
Yeah. Well, 1.5. The creeper head's pretty cool.
Nah.
Hey, maybe you're the one.
Maybe.
Anyway, until next time, kids.